Hey everybody, this is Mark with Soul Shelter Music, and today what I want to talk to you about is using Reaper and how to use folders and how to create a track that has a reverb on it to blend in reverb on your mixes that you're working on. And so basically, I have a project here in Reaper. It is a new song that I'm working on. And if you'll notice, I've got my drum and percussion tracks in green. I've got an acoustic guitar folder with 2 tracks underneath it. And then I've got a gray track called Room Reverb. Now, one thing about Reaper that is a little confusing is that everything is considered a track. Everything in Reaper is a track. So even though it says drum folders, this is just a track. However, when you put a track like this tambourine track, when you put it, I'm going to click with my left mouse button and see how the blue bar pops up in Reaper. When I notice how it slides over to the right. When I put it in there, underneath the drum folder, now this tambourine track is routing through the drum folder and then out to my master fader. Okay, and initially I had it that way, but I don't like it because I've got some stuff going on at the drum folder level that I didn't want the tambourine track to be affected by. Okay. So folders are a great way to group your tracks. It's also a great way to control how you process those tracks. So I want to switch over to mixer mode here real quick and show you what's happening. So basically, all of these drum tracks right here are routing through this drum folder. And on the drum folder, I have a channel strip by Eventide called Ultra Channel. And I'm doing some processing of the drum sound using a preset called Fat Snare. That just kind of sounds cool. But all of the drum tracks are routing through this plugin on the drum folder track, of which these tracks are children tracks, I believe is what they call it. Okay? And likewise, on my acoustic parts, I've got an acoustic folder, and I've got my 2 acoustic lines. Now, I'm not doing anything on it in terms of plugins. I just have them running straight through this folder and then out to my master. This is called your master fader or master bus, you might hear it referred to. Okay? So, not only is this a great way to organize your tracks, which I do use it to organize my tracks, but it's also a great way to add effects onto all of the tracks underneath your folder tracks to change the sound of it. Okay, so that's something that's pretty cool about Reaper that I really like. Now, the last thing that I want to talk to you about is the use of reverb. And what I would like to recommend to you to consider is creating up separate tracks like I have right here for your time-based effects, and then blending those into the sound of your track. So here I have a plugin. This is actually a free reverb plugin called Epic Verb. And I've been playing around this morning with different sounds under their presets for small rooms, plates, drum booths, and things of that nature. But I want to play this track and let you listen to what different reverb sounds can do to your tracks when you set them up as sends. So let's do that. Switch over to mixer mode here. Okay. And here's my reverb track. And the way I've got it set up is I'm receiving audio from my acoustic folder. You can see it sending to this room reverb track. The tambourine is going to the room reverb track. and then all of the drums going through this drum folder is going to my room reverb. You can create a send from any track, but the way I did it with my folders is you hover over the IO button here, right mouse click, and you can say send, and you just choose the room reverb like I've done there. Or you can click on the IO and you can use this interface here, and you can create a new send. So if I wanted to send this to another, let's say, delay track that I had created, I could do that from this interface as well. So multiple ways that you can create sends. So basically I did a send from my drum folder like that right there, chose room reverb. I came here to my acoustic folder, created a send to the room reverb, and then my tambourine, I created a send to my room reverb. Okay, so if I solo this room reverb, this is what it sounds like. Okay, so basically what I'm doing here is I'm imitating uh, what a band would sound like in a bar or a club environment, or um, anywhere where there's like a room type effect going on, a stage in an auditorium, what have you. That's what I'm trying to simulate here. And the way that I use reverb, I'm going to unsolo that. The way that I use reverb is I just blend it into my track. So now I'm going to let the track play, okay, completely dry, no effects. I just have EQ going on all my tracks. You'll see that. That's the only effect that I'm using. Now I'll let the song play here. Now I'm going to exaggerate this. I'm going to bring in this room reverb and listen to what it does. Okay, now I'm going to bring it down. Okay. So basically all I'm doing is I'm blending in the room reverb to add just a touch of room echoes, if you will. And it looks like this is this is a pretty good setting right here. Maybe a little bit too much. This isn't my final mix, but that's adding just a little bit of reverb, a little bit of reflections to the sound, to make it sound a little bit more produced, a little bit more polished, and adds that kind of pro quality to your tracks. So give this a whirl and play around with this. If you have drums, acoustic folders, vocals, anything will work. And also, by setting up your effects like this, reverb and delay, especially on a single track that you then route through and then you just feather this in, it is a lot easier to control this effect on your mixes. So give that a shot. If you have any questions, let me know. This is Mark with Soul Shelter Music. Take care.